Not really, no. Perfect, because we have a comedy director we really want to work with on this. Who's that? Taika Waititi? Bless you. That's
I did the
so
joke
tell me
again.
about the new direction you're taking the Thor character in.
Hey guys, my name's Dan, and today's reaction is Thor Ragnarok Pitch Meeting Revisited. Now, I could have sworn I reacted to this pitch meeting in the past. Apparently, it was just Love and Thunder. Short thoughts on this movie. I really did enjoy it, especially all the stuff with Thor and Hulk in that big coliseum, them fighting against each other, super iconic. And of course, Jeff Goldblum is always delightful, even in a villainous role. As far as this video is concerned, as with these revisits, I always try to look for what I can see what he's doing and apply it to what I'm doing so I can become better. I need all the help that I can get because I am doing this all on my own, and seeing his process is always something that's truly beneficial for me. It looks like we're going to be seeing some rewriting of his script. I don't know if you guys find that fascinating, but I certainly do, because, you know, I tend to do that whenever I do any of these pitch meeting reviews or any of the kill count reviews. So let's see what we learn here. But before we do, though, please do check out those links I have for you down in the description below. More specifically, a pitch meeting link and his personal channel as well. They're both great ways to support him. And since this is my birthday month, and I know many of you can see my subscriber count right now, I'm not sure if I will be at 9,000 by the time this is released. But the best and easy way to support me, especially if you don't have any sort of money, if you can go right below this video, click all those buttons down there, so that way you can see future reactions that I do, and also help me get way past 9,000. And without any further ado, let's go.
Hello, this is Ryan George from the thing you're currently watching.
Sup?
Please enjoy this pitch meeting for Thor Ragnarok that I made several years ago, and then stick around after because I might just talk about it. I might.
You might?
I might. Why are you
Oh,
doing that? I'm going
all
to
right.
drop Bruce Banner.
Okay, so tell me about this Thor script. Right, so it's called Ragnarok. Bless you. No, Ragnarok basically means the apocalypse on Asgard.
Oh, I got that.
What's wrong? It's just that it sounds pretty dark, and we're looking for kind of a lighter tone here. Oh no, this is a straight-up comedy. It is? Yeah, literally any moment that could potentially be a little dramatic is either turned into or followed by a joke. So you can't really take anything seriously at all. Not really, no. Perfect, because we have a comedy director we really want to work with on this. Who's that? Taika Waititi? Bless you. That's not
I did the
So
joke
tell me about
again.
the new direction you're taking the Thor character in. Right, so what I did was take Chris Hemsworth from Thor, okay? Then I took Chris Hemsworth from Ghostbusters, right?
Oh.
And I kind of just squished them into one character. Amazing, so he's a lot dumber now. Oh yeah, he's a lot dumber. Like the movie starts with him talking to a skeleton. Oh, like as a joke? Kinda, but there's also nobody else around, so it's like, who's he doing this bit for? So it just comes across as dumb. Exactly, so it's like either Thor is very stupid or it's a really lazy joke that doesn't actually make sense in the scene.
Well, to be fair, lots of people do talk to themselves that aren't crazy and aren't stupid, but I don't know, I kind of talk to myself sometimes like, kind of like right now. All right, moving on.
It's not the second one, is it? So listen, before we get too deep into the story, we do have to address a big plot thread from the last Thor movie, Loki. Yeah, he's impersonating his father and ruling Asgard. I imagine it's gonna be pretty hard for Thor to deal with. Actually super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, what happens? Well, Thor gets back to Asgard and he figures it out. That's like the first thing he does. Taken care of, just like that. So tell me
because he knows his brother.
about the story. Right, so the main villain in the movie is called Hela, and she's the goddess of death. Okay, now the main complaint about our movies is that the villains are kind of flat and one-dimensional, so what's Hela's deal? Oh, you're gonna like this. Basically, Hela's deal is that she is evil. Oh, that's good. Yeah, she's like super evil. Very, very evil. Sounds
And also, she had issues with Thor and... Well, not Thor, but Odin specifically.
the perfect villain. Yeah, and she wants to take over
But yeah, because they used to be side by side, and if I remember correctly, Odin saw her destructive power and was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that no more."
So she does. She does that. Very evil. And she's really strong, so she does it pretty easily too. Like she kills Thor's best friends like it was nothing. Oh, but Thor's gonna be devastated. You'd think so, but we're never gonna see him react to it, or like even find out, because that would be dramatic. Yeah, I really can't overstate how much potential drama we're gonna avoid here. That's what we want. Like in the middle of a spaceship battle, they're gonna talk about orgies. Great. Thor's whole relationship with Jane is like a throwaway joke. broke now. Oh, she was important too. Yeah,
Yeah,
super
she
important.
was.
Wow. Also,
And
Bruce
still
Banner
is.
probably dies, but it's like really funny. Wait, Bruce Banner is in this? Oh yeah, I didn't tell you. The Hulk is like a big part of this movie. Interesting. Yeah, but instead of being a scary monster, now he's like a moody baby. A moody baby. I love it. Yeah, he talks like one and
Moody
everything. Yeah,
baby.
what the people
That's a
ask
great
for.
way to
Is it?
describe him.
I have no idea. Maybe. Anyway, Thor ends up on a gladiator planet, and most of the movie is them trying to leave with Valkyrie. Who's Valkyrie? Oh, she's actually from Asgard, and she's fought hella before. And she's on the gladiator planet too? Yeah, she's the one who picks Thor up when he lands there. That sounds pretty convenient. Oh, it's super convenient. Yeah, so they go back to Asgard, then they get a demon thing to blow the whole place up, and that's it. That's it? Can I see that?
I mean, there's
Sure.
a lot more
Thank
stuff
you.
involved in it, but basically.
Most of these pages are empty. Yeah, well, when
What?
I was writing, they were playing a Whose Line Is It Anyway marathon on TV, so I got a little distracted.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah, I mean, I can see how you can get distracted by that. Whose line is it anyways? Hilarious.
No, but it got me thinking, why don't we just let the actors come up with a lot of this stuff and just kind of end every scene with Thor getting zapped unconscious? Oh, improv. I love
Oh,
it.
I like
this would be
improv.
fun too, because you know how
Just,
most movies
you know.
have like one character that's the comic relief to break the tension? Mm-hmm. That's gonna be like every single character in this movie. Everybody. Yeah, like there's a character who's a pile of rocks. Funniest guy in the film. Hey,
He's
there's
great.
a page here that
I
just
love
says
him.
Goldblum. Oh yeah, there's a character called Grandmaster that I didn't really know how to
Jeff
develop.
Goldblum's
Oh, so
wonderful.
you want me to get Jeff Goldblum to come be Jeff Goldblum? Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured that would take care of that. That's
Yeah.
smart. I'll see what
Yeah,
I can
it
do.
did.
Also, you'll see there's a page in there that just says the word cameo. Yep. I just thought it'd be really fun to have a super famous person show up for like no reason at all. For no reason at all. Exactly. So people in the audience will be like, hey, isn't that
That
why
guy?
is he why
what?
is he in this?
Huh?
I know just the guy to call. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he was in that. Okay.
There you go. That's a Bruce banner. That's Bruce.
Oh, that's
He's very
clever.
proud of his banner. once
Very
you look
clever.
at it. Full disclosure, I wanted to draw a banner of Bruce Willis, but it ended up looking like a disappointed potato, so I pivoted. That's
Very
showbiz,
disappointed
baby. You
potato.
gotta stay on your toes and accept when you're not able to draw John McClane. So Thor Ragnarok, this was actually the second pitch meeting I ever made. After the Justice League one did pretty well, they were like, can you do more? And this movie had just come out. Clearly still didn't really know what I was doing. There's barely a plot breakdown in this. It's just kind of a general overview of the movie. And in retrospect, that's probably how I was able to make 2 of these per week back then. That's unfathomable for me right now. I
Yeah,
don't know how
I can see
did
that.
for like over a year. I mean, also in retrospect, I wasn't sleeping a lot back then. I was
Oh.
working till 3 a.m. a lot.
Oh.
I was generally pretty unhappy, and my mental health was not going great.
Oh,
It's
that
probably
sucks.
a combination of those things. I let myself sleep more now, but also
That's
clearly
good.
not a lot of research went into this Thor Ragnarok pitch meeting. And I also feel like I hadn't really hit the playfulness properly. There's some mean-spiritedness that comes across in this one. I liked Thor Ragnarok. I don't think that necessarily comes across in this pitch meeting.
No,
Obviously,
not
yeah,
really.
There's a lot of stuff that's like, okay, yeah, all his friends are dead, and we're not gonna address that. That's kind of weird. Also, that thing where the previous movie ends on such a big note that the writer and director were clearly setting up for the next filmmakers to dive into, and Taika was like, no, thank you. It has vibes of Luke Skywalker throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder, just the next director being like, no, I don't want to do that thing you set up for me. Now, last revisited episode, I did something kind of new where I actually edited the Google Doc, the original Google Doc for
Yay!
this script. Judging by the comments section, generally most people seem to enjoy that, so
Yes.
I'm gonna do it again. And
Yes,
for those
please.
who did not enjoy that, I'm gonna include some chapter markers for the video, so you can just jump forward to the Q&A.
No,
If
I'm
you
good
don't
with
wanna
this.
see
Bring
any
me
of
this.
that, you can change video. There are dozens of videos on this website, billions of dozens even. So
Billions
here
of
goes
dozens.
that, the Google docking portion. Ladies and gentlemen, they said it couldn't be done, but I have successfully opened a Google Doc. I guess it's true what they say about the cloud. You can access your old files
Yeah.
that are on there. So here's something
Oh,
that kind of pops out
alright.
to me. The producer guy says, so tell me about the new direction you're taking the Thor character in. The writer guy didn't say anything about a new direction, so I would rephrase all of this section.
Yeah.
If I were writing this now, this line would be, so what's going on with Thor? Straight and to the point. And this right here, I'm using 6 lines to say that Thor is going to be dumb now, and to make a comparison to Chris Hemsworth in Ghostbusters. There's a better way to do this, I think. So I think what I'd do is I would say, well, I was thinking that Chris Hemsworth could play him a lot more like his character in Ghostbusters. Then
Okay.
I'd have producer guys say, so like a lot dumber. And then I would lean into how much people didn't like Ghostbusters to highlight why this was maybe a questionable decision
Sure,
to make.
sure.
Oh yeah, super dumb, because people loved Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe.
good
So how
line.
dumb we talking? Then I could go into the skeleton thing, where I'd just go, well, the movie starts with him talking to a skeleton. So then, yeah, there's the talking to the skeleton bit. Who's he doing this bit for? Instead of having producer guy say, so it just comes across as dumb, which is just a nothing filler phrase that's just a reiteration of what we're talking about. Now that I say things are tight, I would make this into a tight bit. Doing your own bits is tight. I think that hits the what the hell are you talking about, producer guy note quite well. Then I don't like that I called the joke lazy. That's mean-spirited and not the vibe I want to go for. I do think that the clearing throat thing is kind of funny, but not worth it for the meanness of that other joke.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Also, just in general in this script, I did a thing a lot where producer guy kind of just repeats a part of screenwriter guy's previous sentence. For example, here, a famous person shows up for no reason at all. For no reason at all. That's going to be like every character in this movie. Everybody. So if I were to rewrite this, I would focus on making it more of a back and forth. These two characters seem like they're not yet distinct. And then, yeah, I would just, if I were to redo this, I would break down the plot a lot more. But I was just a child when I wrote this, no older than 27. So I will give myself some slack. Getting into pants making. So there you have it. A little bit of rewriting that I did just there that you saw and you watched. And now it's question time.
Yay,
what
questions!
Skills do you credit the success of pitch meetings? What skills would you tell aspiring creatives to focus on? I think a chunk of the success of pitch meeting off the bat was good luck and timing. You know, there were a couple of movies that came out back to back, Justice League and The Last Jedi. But in terms of skills, it was just many, many years before I even started pitch meeting of doing lots of writing and acting and editing and shooting and all that jazz. I don't think I could pin it down to one skill, but a decade of doing all of them. And even with that, as you can see, these early pitch meetings are rough. So in terms of specific skills that I would recommend aspiring creatives to work on, it really depends on what creativity you're doing. I guess my unfortunately not super helpful advice is to just do it a lot, even if people aren't watching. Because they probably won't be for a very long time, and that's actually a good thing. One thing I will say, though, in retrospect, right before I started pitch meetings, I did sell my soul to the devil. Kind words, and then question, maybe you already answered this. Do you do any other writing? I do. I dabble, and I do. But making a pitch meeting every single week and making a sketch on my own channel every single week, there's just not a lot of time for me to dive into it. But I do once in a while. I did have a TV show acquired last year, which is a whole complicated process, and it probably will never see the light of day. And legally, I probably can't say anything more. But for the purposes of answering this question, I do other writing. University. I studied communication studies at Concordia University in Montreal with like a focus on film production. And this was right before everybody started having high definition cameras in their pockets. So I imagine those courses are very different today. If there are any film students watching, I'd be curious to know, like, what do you guys shoot on your smartphones in class, or how does that work? What is the question you most want me to ask you? You already know. To go to prom with you. All right, thanks for watching. Please leave some questions in the comments section down below.
Yeah, that's really interesting too, because before I did this whole reaction channel thing, I tried many different things. I've tried many different programs and other different things to help me get better. Lots of research, lots of whatever, and once I finally landed on what worked, I started doing reactions. I was like, oh, this is getting views, people are liking this, people are enjoying what they're seeing. So I'm like, okay, let's focus on that, and then let's get rid of all of the other laundry list of things that I've tried before in the past. And it's started off very rough, just like his stuff did. Very, very rough. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Video was just cutting out every so often. The audio was never good. The video was kind of weird. It would flicker, and it would do all these weird things. But finally, once I started getting the hang of things, once I started to get a rhythm of doing this every day, and obviously getting new equipment certainly helped as well. Getting this new super awesome Sony camera that I have there has been fantastic. And then, of course, getting a mic like this, not a USB one, has been very beneficial. I think I've sounded a whole lot better with this than I did with my, what was that mic? Not the Snowball one. I can't think of it either way. It was probably, or actually is, the best USB mic as far as I know. So you guys could probably figure out what exactly that was. But like after all that time of doing it over and over and over again, the better I got, the more I learned, because this is very much me learning things on the go. So that's something him and I definitely have in common. It's actually really cool to see that we're not necessarily on the same path, because obviously he is, you know, his audience and his subscriber account is massive in comparison to what I have, but it is very, very cool to have that in common, to where I can think like, okay, I'm doing something right. He went through this just like I'm going through it now. There's hope for the future. So that's going to do it for me here. Comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about this revisit? Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Also, check all those links I have for you down in the description below. And lastly, and most importantly, I want to give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Luchador, Cruising, Warrior 310, GBN, Kester Cronin, Joseph McSweeney, Amber K, Raymond Bright, Joshi, Chris Curtis, Haley Mastronardi, Ann Perry, Larka, Foss Cacophony, Morgan Page, Alfred Frioli, Izzy, Misa 2, Lily the Snoopy Fan, Nunsay Singh, Lauren, Jenny the Swifty, Allison the Aesthetic Girl, Mad Hushy, and Likeable Loser. And if YouTube looked to have a shout out at each and every one of my videos, please head on over to patreon.com/TheDanReactor for more. And I'll see you guys next time.